the Germans laid in a barrage.
Oh, wow.
Never found Hartman.
Wow.
Never did, because he was completely torn to pieces. So I figured 3 things that happened, and nothing happened to me, and something was telling me that something was guiding me in the right direction. So from then on, I didn't have no fear. And what my men used to tell me, I'll never forget it, Alan used to say, he says, Lieutenant, if you ever get it, it's going to be not with a rifle in your hand, it's going to be with a camera. Because I was taking pictures of everything. Yeah, and I enjoyed it. And I figured, what the heck, if it's going to get me, it's going to get me. I was just always hoping that if it did get me, to get me 100%. Because I saw some of those fellas, they'd live 4 or 5 days and die in agony. And I didn't want that. But,
anyways,
yeah.
Can I just ask you about
Sure,
what your protocol was for POWs? Like if you were to ever come across soldiers that surrendered to you, or...
Well, we didn't have any chances to interrogate them or anything. That was done by the interrogation. The Army had special men for that. And the only thing we did was transported them and fed them if we had to, and take care of water and everything for them. But as far as doing any technical work with them, or asking them where they're from or what they've done, no, we didn't.
But for example, if a group of soldiers were to come up to you and surrender, what would you do?
You turn them over to them.
You just take them back to...
Yeah, you turn them over to them because they put them in the compound, and then they would interrogate them and evaluate what they got from them, and then, you know, it was nothing that we could do. Even though, like I say, I met those Italians, like that one that's here, and I didn't know him because he was a soldier. But we didn't have any personal contact with them. And then in Germany, we had another thing that was funny. It was kind of odd. We couldn't fraternize with nobody. You couldn't talk to a German. And we had the orders when we left France. The Germans, they systematically robbed all of Europe. They took everything. And the higher-ups took all the paintings and all the valuables. And the lower soldiers, what they were doing was taking everything out of the houses. We got into houses in Germany, and we'd find 25 to 30 sets, dining room set, table, silverware, and everything. So you know what our orders were? Not to pitch a tent or not to sleep any place but in those houses. So what we used to do is we'd come to a town, and the mayor, they call him Bürgermeister, we would tell him, Bürgermeister, we need quarters for 130 men. And he had to kick the people out of their houses.
Wow.
And we would live in those houses for a week or whatever it was. We'd move out, and then I don't know. But when we were there, we were ordered not to eat out of our mess kits. Eat out of their plates. Throw them out the window. So we did. And because they were all French and they were all different nationalities, you know, Polish and everything like that. But the Germans robbed all of Europe.
Wow.
So that was the only thing we did. We were under orders never send anything home. We couldn't send nothing, no souvenirs. Because heck, if they did, there'd have been all kinds of silverware coming to them. But we had orders not to. And being as I was an officer, I had to sign every shipment, everything that went out, mail and everything. And even the mail was censored. I had to reel everybody's letters.
Oh, you did that in particular?
Well, every officer had so many letters every time. And we'd come to a bivouac area. We're spending 2 days there. Maybe half of the time was censoring these letters so that they could go out for the servicemen. We didn't have any time for ourselves.
Yeah.
We were day and night committed. And it was kind of a tough one, but we managed. Is there anything else you need now?
No, that was a great interview.
Yeah,
You gave us a lot of information.
Well, I try to give you a background of I did, you know, my experience.
Yeah.
And then, like you whatever you want to, you know, add to it, why I can tell you. But, you know, when you're a GI, it's funny. A lot of people say, well, a GI can do this, he can do that. You can't do anything unless your commanding officer okays it.